What's going on, everybody? Sammy V here.
Hey Holmes, it's the Bean here.
Jesse.
And today we're going to be talking about the Happytime Murders. The huge, chilling cop movie coming to you this end of summer, kind of. Right?
Yeah, basically.
Movie, 10 out of 10 is like the best cop movie that I've just like ever seen in general. Well, now you can't just start laughing during my interlude. Okay. But, no, for real. This movie, it was a fun time. I'll give it that. It was a fun time. But even though I hadn't seen this movie, what Bean over here says is that it's basically just Puppet Sausage Party, in a way.
Basically, I mean, the sex jokes.
Yeah, like the sex jokes and all the innuendos.
It's kind of like the same thing. I feel like Seth Rogen actually wrote some of the script for Happytime Murders.
Well, no, because it said it was a Henson production or something.
Yeah,
like
probably.
Ryan Henson did it.
It was Henson Alternatives or something. Yeah. I believe was it.
I feel like
there's a lot of companies that worked on this movie. That was STX that you saw.
Yeah.
The people that one of the people that worked on the Toy Story movies. So I guess maybe they did like the.
Sure.
I think they because they were the one with like the huge STX logo. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and they probably did like animation then.
They probably did like the puppet movement. And
yeah, like their other legs.
Yeah,
and we saw at the end all other legs didn't exist. So that was
like
cool.
People in the green with the green.
Yeah, the green screens. Yeah, and all that.
They were basically walking around holding the puppets up like if they were actually real puppets, but they weren't.
And that's the thing. I bet the people that made this movie had a lot of fun too. But the thing is, this movie wasn't really like it wasn't really a great movie. You know,
it did what it's supposed to. It was there just to make you laugh. It wasn't supposed to be a serious movie unless you take it serious.
Yeah.
It did its job.
Most comedies are.
Yeah, that's why it did its job to make you laugh.
Okay,
but the thing was,
no. Comedy example: Big Daddy. Big Daddy has a great plot, has plenty of pathos during it, but it's still just a funny movie all throughout. And then it ends, and it has a fluid story throughout it.
But this one was one of those movies that was meant to be more funny than an actual story.
Even the scary movies have plot.
Slender Man had a.
Slender Man had a plot.
But
I'm saying like scary movie has a plot. Even if it's a dumb movie.
They have a simple plot that you could follow. This one had a plot, but it wasn't really... You weren't supposed to be stuck on the plot. It was just like kind of a subplot, and everything else was...
And the thing was the main character, Phil Phillips, which I do love that, but Phil Phillips, his whole thing was that he wanted to be a detective, or whatever, and he was the first and only... cop, whatever. Puppet cop. And he got fired for that because he didn't shoot somebody.
Well, he did shoot somebody, but he shot the wrong person.
He misses his intended target and kills.
I mean, he tries to shoot the target. The bullet hits a pillar, ricochets, and hits an innocent bystander. And then they put in the newspaper and the media that he didn't want to shoot a puppet, which is dumb because he killed a puppet. Yes, it was a wrong puppet, but hey, he killed a puppet.
Okay, we'll have to get back to it. Just one of you remind me about that street that happened on. Just somebody remind me about that later on, because I don't want to ruin too much of the movie at this point. But okay, so basically the premise of the movie is what the title intends, which I enjoy. Like, and they never just say like the title flat out during the movie, so that's cool. But so it's a show that
they did. They said it many times.
They said Happytime Murders.
Yes.
They said the show Happytime.
No, they were going, what do you know about the Happytime Murders? They said it 5 times.
Did they really?
Yeah.
The accent crack guy, the one that tried to suck the bitch's dick.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, what do you know about the Happytime Murders?
And then he
when it built up, they didn't. Like, when they let you...
I think
they kind of pushed...
They slipped it in there very seamlessly.
Yeah, they pushed it in there seamlessly before they started doing it, I guess. Like, they showed us that there was a show called Happytime Friends.
Happytime
Gang?
Happytime Gang. It was Happytime Gang or
Happytime something.
It wasn't really that important. The show itself wasn't that important. But, so, the whole premise behind it was that each character on the show got a certain cut from the show itself, which was kind of weird because the one lady that they meet that was a fan of the show said she was a fan of the show when she was a kid and she was a grown woman that sold weed was her joke. But
because the show was supposed to be like years older, because it was 20 years ago that he shot the guy.
It was supposed to be like a pension that they were gonna get from the show.
Which, yeah, I mean, I guess that's how that works, but I don't know. I mean,
they sold the show rights. That's what they were talking about. Was they sold the show rights,
and then
that's why they were getting the money for it.
They're waiting for the money to go through so that they can split up the money.
Okay, so what was I getting at? Oh yeah, so that's what's happening. So they each get a cut. Each of the main cast gets a cut, and then if one of them were to die or whatever it says, or they would go to their loved one, and if not their loved one, it would be split with the rest of the cast. So basically, the premise of the movie is you get this red hair whore puppet, which essentially kind of she made like it doesn't even get is she just a client for him?
Yeah,
she's trying to be a client. She says that she's being blackmailed. Creates a letter from
Basically a ransom.
Oh wait, that's how she knew that he was going to be in the porn store, because he
got the puppy. The pee.
How did she know he would be there? I mean, I guess like every on purpose day or something like that.
No. She had to be researching those puppets.
Yeah, I understand.
So that means that she knew that the bunny was going to be there. So she gave the detective a bone with that pee from the puppet panther, whatever thing that had the leopard.
Okay, I'm just saying, I've been to a sex shop before. That doesn't mean that if someone was trying to hire to kill me, that I would be at that sex shop. I mean, I guess he spends a lot of time there or whatever. He was making jokes about
He was saying that he was a regular. They were saying that he was a regular.
Yeah, but that was... okay, no, we gotta get to that later, too. So, I guess... So, it's still dumb, though. He was in the back, and he... No, let's talk about that scene. That scene was wild. Okay, so he walks into the sex shop, and it's not even just a sex shop. He goes in, and then there's like a turkey dude that runs it, and then behind this turkey dude, there's an octopus just milking a cow, and there's just milk squirting everywhere, and it's just the funniest thing for everyone in the theater. I'm just watching this cow get jerked to high hell, and everyone in the theater is just laughing like a madman.
I think what we heard the most was the drunk guys in front of us.
I heard the whole fucking theater was explosive. With that, then in the same part, there was like a sex scene going on in the background where there was a puppet Dalmatian.
It wasn't the same scene. It was the next scene.
It was a movie. I think it was right after that when he walked to the back.
He walks to the back.
Yeah,
and he walks to the back.
They were like playing a porn movie, and it was a guy in a firefighter, chained up to a bed, and there was a Dalmatian.
Yeah, and
like twisting his nipples.
Yes, I get it. It's a puppet, but again, it's not a puppet. That's the thing. We didn't get enough puppet jokes. We got a lot of just sex jokes and stuff like that, but we didn't get enough like puppet jokes. It was really sad. Like I was expecting at least like one like hand up my ass joke, you know, or at least one puppet that was like that. There was a puppet that was like still like controlled by a human or something like that in the movie.
Yeah,
and it would have been like we didn't get much of that. We just got like human social commentary on puppets that if they lived in our world, not if puppets lived in our world, what would their social commentary kind of be? Was why I kind of felt was lacking. But
my question is, why didn't they go into how the puppets came alive?
Yeah, that was, and then at the very beginning of the movie, there was like a puppet that was like dancing outside of Phil's office for money. And like he's like, no, I like to sing and entertain. That's what we puppets are supposed to do. Even though he was saying like Phil was like, oh, we don't need to do that anymore, old timer. And I'm still very confused on how the laws of puppets work, because that man got his eye ripped out, but the other dude got his head ripped off, and he died from his head ripped off. It's like they're very loose with the rules. Like,
I think if it's bodily mutilation to the point that you cannot be put back together, that's when you die.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, but the eyes, eyes just pop out. Aren't they supposed to be sewed or glued onto the puppet?
I guess it depends on the puppet.
Because if you look at Jeff Dunham's puppets, they can be torn apart, put back together.
That was the thing. We didn't get any puppet jokes to any, and it was a Henson thing. So we could have got puppet jokes to like if they would have said something that like Kermit existed in this world, you know, just something like that, or anything like that, you know, or like this isn't set, like because they even said in the promo they said this isn't, or it's like no Sesame all Street.
They did reference Sesame Street at the thing when they're like this. Today's letter, the day it's P.
Yeah, the letter
P is brought to
P. That letter, yeah, like that was funny. I'll give them that. But they did like I'm saying, the very beginning of the movie had a lot of puppet, but then like it just slowly became less because it seemed like they were getting like lazier with it in a way. But it was called okay. So the first murder was the bunny. What was the bunny's name? You guys remember the bunny's name? He had a fun name.
Bumblebee Pants.
Bumblebee Pants.
Yeah,
Bumblebee Pants. Yeah,
Mr.
Bumblebee Pants.
Which I like that they played to the our real life rabbit sex drive, which they are.
Yeah.
They do that multiple times in the
43
movie.
kids.
I thought that was funny.
He's like, I have 43 kids. Then he pissed something purple. That was and shot out a bunch of Easter eggs. Yeah, that was something. And then okay, so who was the second kill then? That was he had a brother in the movie that is the reason that he was tied to the cast, because his brother was one of the main cast members. And
the brother was trying to become more human, bleached his blue skin, got a nose job.
That's kind of like Michael Jackson.
Well, it's just kind of like a Hollywood thing, like, and people put fake shit on. But yeah, like
try
MJ.
to emphasize themselves or something.
But so yeah, his brother was trying to get it on with some like Korean or just some Asian woman, and she was, I guess, mixing their margaritas a little too loud.
No, but the person that opened the cage, that couldn't have been a puppet though. But we'll get to that later on. Okay,
yeah. So the person, I will, yeah, but. The person that kills them, he opens up a cage and lets dogs out, and the dogs all come out and they tear up his brother, and that's how his brother dies. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. When he gets there to see his brother and all that, he gets into a confrontation with Melissa McCarthy's. Oh yeah, so at the beginning of the movie,
it's Detective Edwards.
Detective Edwards.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't. I was just gonna remember as Melissa's McCarthy. I can't remember every role she does.
Detective Edwards.
Detective Edwards. Okay, I'll just do that then.
I think it is, isn't it?
Okay. Well, so Detective Edwards and him have a bumpy relationship because of the thing we mentioned earlier with the bullet.
They were past partners, and
So then. And they had a huge beef in the first crime scene, and they meet up again here, and then she's like, oh, what's up with this puppet? And she's being, like, incredibly puppet racist. Like, she's saying something like my shirt's made out of your mom and shit like that, like, the first time she sees them, and then she's just making more, like, racist puppet shit. I'm like, oh, so you're just like everybody else in this world. Okay. And then she kind of softens up later on, but anyway, so she says some bullshit about his brother, and then she's like, oh, I didn't recognize him, blah, blah, and then, like, they get into a fight, and she bites his puppet dick in the hot tub. Take that however you will. And you know what? He looked like he had like baby Goku dick. Like he was just like what do you?
Into the marbles.
Yeah, just like a little line and like a little bolt. Like what do you?
Remember the thing that got me those when
I will quote Chucky. It is not the size that counts, asshole. It's what you do with it.
I mean. Okay, but the other thing is, with the whole puppet racism shit, kind of reminded me of that movie Bright. You've seen it?
No.
Like the Netflix, where they're like ogres or whatnot live with the humans apparently, and they have to coexist in the same environment.
Yeah, with Will Smith.
It's kind of like that, where the puppets existed all along, and now they have to coexist, but the regular humans hate on the puppets. They're like being biased against the puppets. It's kind of the same plot at the very beginning of the movie. Yeah, it's basically the same plot, but just puppets and orcs or trolls or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's typically how it goes in anything. Yeah, just like in any show. There's
the Sesame Street and the Muppets, the puppets, the Muppets, and the humans coexist. They're friendly. They're not like racist against each other.
But that's family. Show.
Yeah, even.
This would be more like if it actually was happening in real life.
It's just like normal racism is how they put it, because like I just said. When she's like, oh, I didn't recognize him because he was less blue. It's like, less blue? It's like, what? Can I say the B word? And so, yeah, that's how that went. For some reason, this movie, like, when I looked it up, it said black humor, and I didn't really look into black humor because I just looked into it right before we got into the movie. Does that mean, like, just dark humor, or is it supposed to be like humor?
I think it was because it was playing on racism a little bit.
I was gonna say, was it supposed to be, or I'm saying, is it supposed to be humor for just like black people? Like I'll look it up like right after.
I think you gotta look at the puppets color. Like the white ones were just supposed to be white puppets, and the like different color puppets are like different color of like races.
But I don't know,
because all
puppets
and it had
treated
like
the same.
blue puppets, that purple puppets.
They had white puppets too, but
yeah, I mean, but there was kind of difference.
Yeah, I guess because I guess the one white puppet we saw was like the bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Well, there was also the white puppet cousins who were fucking each other, and nobody.
Yeah, they were white.
That was fun. Yeah, there was one of the cast members is
But that's
two of the cast
that's
members.
A later murder.
Yeah, that's later murder, but yeah.
Well, that was one
of.
of
Had mutant children, which really.
Later. Can't be jumping around.
You've been jumping around this entire time.
What?
You've been jumping around this entire time.
When?
Throughout this entire.
I haven't got past the kills though. I'm not saying the kills.
All right, so the second time was which
was it?
Was it like Lewis
or the second kill was the brother?
No, the third kill was Lewis. I think it was
Yeah, was his name Lewis?
The coach or whatever in the show.
It was an L.
What was it?
Lionel or something. It wasn't Lewis. You're thinking of freaking Principal Lewis from American Dad.
I mean,
why would you think that?
I'm not trying to.
Because it was like
a
bald head with
beard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coke, like drugs.
It wasn't Coke. It was sugar.
It's supposed to be Coke.
It was sugar.
Coke.
But okay, so whatever the third guy's name was, I'm sorry, I only got.
He ran a shop.
Yeah, he ran
shop. Yeah,
it was like a money laundering business, and he had a bunch of his crew members in there, and then him and his crew members were all in. It was funny, like it's your typical like gangster thing. Like they walk in, and everybody aims the gun at the front door. There's the front door, and they're like, "Whoa, man!" And then you get the whole dramatic reveal there, like, "We don't deal with no meat bags," and then they're like, "Well, she's not just a meat bag. She's actually half puppet." And then they're like, "Fool, what you mean?" And then she's like, "I got a puppet liver." And oh, word? And they're like, "Prove it. You got to do some of our fucking puppet cocaine." And that's what I'm calling it. It's not sugar. It's puppet cocaine. And she's like, "Oh, word!" And she takes a freaking
Trigger smash.
Twizzler. It was
Twizzler.
Yeah,
Twizzler.
They're snoring it up
with a Twizzler. And that was pretty funny. And then she's just like, "Whoa!" And she's like just Trevor Nick shooting gun in the air.
No, the thing I like to is like the big mafia dog that they had was a bulldog.
Yeah,
that was a mafia dog,
a
bulldog,
yeah.
And he was like slobbering all over the place. Like you see the older mafia man just.
Yeah, and then it's cool. She gets to know a poker match with some of the like bigger puppets. Like, so you get this dude with a huge mouth. You got like the pit bull dude. You got this just like
he's basically a pimp because there's like a puppet hoe next to him.
He's got a puppet Roxy.
Yeah,
I believe her name was Roxa. And then he calls her a bitch. Calls Edwards a bitch. They get into a huge like bar fight type scenario. She beats up some puppets. I mean, I guess like. But any kid with stuffed animals when they were 5.
Like something you see in a what's called James Bond movie that she took everybody out single handedly, but
there's only 3 people though.
She was fighting the whole thing, but but still, she like flipped over the chairs and everything.
Doesn't make any sense considering they all just aimed guns at her.
Yeah,
but whatever. But then so then in the back alley it's Phil Phillips with Lionel or Lewis or whatever the hell his name was. And then, for some reason, somebody stops in an alley with their tinted out car, and they're like, "Oh, is that your friends?" Like, "Nah, that's not my friends." And they just keep kind of like doing their little puppet walk, getting closer to the car. It's like, what? And then he like turns around, he's like, "Those aren't my friends." And then he gets his fucking head blown off. Like, well, what'd you expect? like you're literally in the hood. Like, what was it? Like the drugs are cheap and the sex is cheaper or something like that, or the sugar is cheap and the sex is cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then
that's basically a red light district.
But yeah, then the 4th kill was I'm gonna try to run through this a little bit. The 4th kill was one of the cast members that just turned like alive of drugs, and then they found him dead at the beach. Blah blah. We get introduced to an FBI character. He's a dickhead. Then. Well, after him was like the last 2. Right?
It was a hillbilly.
No. We missed his girlfriend, Jenny.
The stripper.
The stripper, Jenny. Oh, that was a fun scene.
No, but when... Okay, go ahead. After you said it.
Okay, so, we get to the stripper. the stripper place. That's the strip. We get to the stripper place. Has no other name, and she's sitting there and she's giving like kind of a lap dance to these 3 rabbits again, making a joke to the horny rabbits, but again, no.
It was Felt and Flush.
Felt and Flush.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the name of the place?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. But yeah, and then she kept on like jerking off fucking a carrot on them,
peeling
like,
the carrots on them,
and then
she
was
biting the carrot.
They were like, ah! It was a fun scene. They were all hype as shit, and and then we get another huge tragic scene where he walks her. I'll give it. It's pretty sentimental. He walks her out, and and it was cute because she's like, do you remember the first time you ever walked me out to the car? And then he's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. I cared about you. You're special. And then she's like, yeah. And then like he like turns around and she starts the car, and the car fucking explodes. And yeah, so that was the next death. And then what were you gonna say?
I guess it could wait to end because it kind of ties up with the
thing.
Plot of the movie.
Well, what do you guys say about the next 2 killers?
The next two killers. Well, I guess they were supposed to be brother and sister in the show, but they were related. They were brother and sister in real life.
I say the next 2 killers because not the next 2 victims, because these are supposed to be what was leading up. Like these were who we thought the murderers were. Oh yeah, wait. Before we get to this, because we brought her up earlier, the red-haired bitch from the beginning that kind of like starts this in a way, starts this whole.
The one that gives the Phillips the ransom note.
Yeah, the ransom note for her and all that. They kind of have like this huge crazy sex scene, and then at the end, it's literally just silly string. Like in the end credits, they have to like blur out the name. Like they had to blur out the name because they couldn't pay silly string or anything. Like, no, we're just gonna buy your thing a silly string and just.
I love them.
No, it wasn't. It was kind of funny. The first 10 seconds, and then it just. 30, like they really had to empty that can of silly.
I mean, I think they probably used more than one can.
No, we spent like $2 on this can of silly string. We're gonna use the whole can because they're never gonna use it in any other movie.
Yeah,
but
it kind of reminded me of that one video from Katy Perry when she had the whipped cream coming out of her titties.
Yeah.
It's kind of some silly shit like that.
It went on for too long. But yeah, then go ahead. The two killers.
Oh, the hillbillies. They were basically in the show. They were brother and sister, and it turned out they were actually brother and sister puppets.
Mm-hmm.
So when they went to their hotel, because they had like a hotel or whatnot set up, they were like hippies basically, but they were doing each other. They got married and had these 2 messed up kids.
Yeah, like
one had 3 eyes,
and the whole time when we're walking up, you just hear like a scream, like a. And you find out it's just one of them looking in a mirror, just screaming at themselves. And then
one only had 1 eye, and the other had 3 eyes.
And then they ask him, "Where's the parents?" They turn around, they just scream at them.
Yeah. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then they walk down the hallway, and
they find
they find the murderers
decapitated.
Yeah, decapitated. So it wasn't them.
And then you see a small little puppet like run out from the back.
Yeah.
And then they go to confront the puppet, and they end up confronting the police there. Then you were there.
And then... But that was funny. We got a good like kind of scene there that kind of like jokes about like jokes about like a very serious topic with like police violence and shit, where they're always like, put the weapon down, and they literally don't have a weapon. And, like Detective Edwards puts her gun down. And the cop's like, put your weapon down, and she's like, dude, it's down. He's like, put your weapon down.
When he was doing that, I thought that the person that they were going after was going to be behind them with a gun.
I thought that they were going to get shot. I thought that the puppet was going to get shot on some racist shit. Like, when they were saying that, I thought they were going to be like, he's got the weapon! And just like, killed or shot Phillips right there. Like, no! But...
Blue Lives Matter.
So, he gets arrested for it.
Totally.
Blue Lives Matter. But he gets arrested for it because the character... What was her name? What was her character's name?
Sandra.
Sandra?
Sandra White.
Didn't she have a fake name or a real name too, or that was her fake name?
1 second.
I think that was her fake name.
Oh, it doesn't matter. But okay, so Sandra White, She was the character at the beginning. And basically, here's what I gotta complain about. This is where we get to the complaining section. Okay, no. So I'm just gonna say, fuck it. She's the one that set him up. It was pretty obvious since she fucked, like, when she fucked him, if it wasn't obvious from the very beginning of the movie, that she was gonna be the one that was behind all this shit. And then the reason that she's behind all this shit, we're gonna go down Convenience Way, because that's the name of the fucking street, because this is the street where the entire plot of the movie develops from 10 years ago, because he shoots, misses the target, ricochets, kills the father of Sandra. Bum, bum, bum! And then fucking, like, what? And then after that, fucking, his partner gets shot. And then the partner, Edward, shoots the puppet that had her hostage. And then like, she's bleeding out. And then
he takes her to a puppet hospital.
Across the street! On the same side of the street where the girl's dad just got shot.
There's a puppet hospital right there. I mean, it's...
And that's where everything happens. He gets fired because he misses that shot. She comes after him for revenge because the shot missed and hit her dad. And she has her puppet liver, which develops her soft spot that she develops in this movie or some shit about puppets.
Also, her sugar addiction.
And her sugar addiction.
But that explains why she would be racist towards them, is because she didn't want the liver, and if he had brought her to an actual hospital...
But she never said anything like that.
I mean, she could have probably been held in the back room telling him.
Could be insinuated.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if it's not in the script, then it doesn't matter, because it's a 2-hour movie, and if they wanted me to know that, then they should have told me that. You can't insinuate. You give them I take what they gave me. And they did not give me that. They didn't give me any sense of, like they literally put the entire backstory for the whole movie on one street.
The ending, that shooting scene was kind of a cliche, like, trying to mock other movies that have everything so convenient just to make a plot around it.
Yeah, and
I think it was trying to make fun of that, though, because you gotta remember, it is a comedy movie.
I would have gave it that if it gave me that at the beginning of the movie. If it would have given me it at the beginning of the movie,
at the end movie where like they're getting
they would have
serious.
Spent the whole movie making fun of that in a way, and making fun of action movies like a parody, but using puppets. That would have been creative and would have been clever and funny. This was just a cop movie with puppets in it, and a cow that got jerked off by an octopus.
Octopi. I mean, I guess the creators do like that hentai octopus.
Bro, I mean, everyone in the theater liked it.
I thought it was funny.
Okay, but why?
Because it was just a movie that was meant to be fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it's octopus jerking off a cow.
Yeah, I don't get what's funny about that. I really don't.
It was just something that was funny.
If I
were to see it again, it's not going to be as funny, but I thought that was funny because it was the first time I was seeing it.
Nah.
See, but that's the thing, though.
I see a cow getting
humans?
If I see a cow getting jacked off once or a cow getting jacked off 100 times, I'm still not going to find it funny.
No, but here's the thing. The puppets are just not humans. They're animals as well. But how they're dog puppets?
I mean,
there is dog.
They're not, whatchamacallit.
They're civilized animal-human puppet hybrids. Because they communicate like animals.
Yeah, so that octopus and that cow definitely know what they're doing. Yeah,
so they're just furries. They're furries in the puppet world right now.
So there you go. If you're a furry, this movie's for you.
Well, the thing about puppets...
Wait, no. Here's what I want to say, though. Because, and then, at the end of the movie, he shoots Sandra. And Jenny somehow is alive.
Because he was supposed to be a sharpshooter, and that's why he was kicked off the force, because he didn't make that shot. That's why they're saying that he that he was trying not to kill the puppet. Because he was supposed to be a sharpshooter. He was supposed to be able to get good shots, and they said that he didn't want to shoot the puppet because he purposely missed. That's what they were going on.
Okay, and then
it just so happens that it ricocheted.
But again, okay, here you go fighting the movie again. How does that relate to what what was the thing I brought up before?
What?
That he shot Sandra and he missed Melissa McCarthy's character.
They shot her. No.
The girlfriend's wife was alive. Okay, so she goes to Detective Edwards goes to investigate kind of like where Sandra's been setting up her whole thing. And it's all this evidence, then all this evidence gets burned down because a button gets pressed, blah, blah. And so they have literally no evidence against this bitch.
She was booby-trapped. She hit
Okay, I'm not complaining about that part. I understand that. All the evidence got burned down now. Okay. So there's no evidence. This Sandra bitch, like, got away with it.
But you're not explaining what the evidence was.
The evidence was everything they needed to convict her.
It was evidence.
Okay, the evidence was the evidence was her entire fucking scheme, like the whole board from 21 Jump Street, where everything's pinned together all crazy, like with the shit. That about killing all the members of the Happytime show. So with that all burned down,
but they were able to figure out that she was the guy who got shot's daughter because she had a picture of her and her father. And when she was at the police station making a confession that Phil came to her and said, I killed everybody for you so we could run away and get the money together, she flashed her purple bush.
Okay.
You didn't talk about that.
Okay, yeah, but what does that have to do? Just because that is that, just because a girl from a case, a daughter of a dude had purple hair, and this girl, which has a separate identity, which they made mention of, which I just told you about, she's not the same. She wouldn't be the same girl. She wouldn't be listed the same girl with her new identity. So how the fuck would they? Like you're insinuating that like they literally go from like. Okay, so I did skip some logic. Phil got arrested. Phil got taken out by Melissa McCarthy, and then they go to the airport to stop Sandra from escaping. And so Phil's wanted by the FBI and shit. Escaped prison. And then they let him off after he kills Sandra.
No, but the thing is though, when they had him in the waiting room and she shot him, why would they take him out to a different hospital? Shouldn't they just treat this one there?
Why would they let her go with him?
Yeah. If she wasn't she taken off the case? Like suspended? She was suspended, but they gave her the rights to go with him as if she wasn't suspended. And she had a gun on her. Yes, which makes no... That's just another...
Like, there's just so many...
I mean, but at the same time, it's a comedy movie.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They should have just kept, like... They wanted to be clever, which I'll give it to. Like, it was like, oh shit, that's cool. Like, they pressed the button and it burned all the evidence. But then after that...
No, but then they did
but
play
they
like...
Didn't know what they didn't know what to do after that. They literally had no idea what to do after that because they kept on just pushing it past that. And they even make fun of it when they're in the confession booth or whatever. They're both sitting there talking to each other, and then she's like, yeah, we had all this evidence and it was great. And he's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. They just kind of nodded at each other. You feel like you have something to say?
Oh, it's just like... They did touch, like, there are major plot holes, but the problem is, it's a movie. Every movie's gonna have plot holes. But they did kind of push it forward, but the way that they made it work was Melissa McCarthy's character came up with the idea of, I'm gonna shoot you, get you the fuck out of here, and we're gonna go catch this bitch.
Yes, which is pretty dumb, because she was insinuating that they're like, take him out to the hospital, which, that's a big pothole right there.
And that's the thing. Why was he in an ambulance getting sent to a hospital when there's...
They weren't at a hospital, though.
But I'm saying, why were they in a normal ambulance?
Shouldn't they go to, like, a puppet ambulance
or something like that? Because there was a puppet hospital where Melissa McCarthy just got her puppet liver. If this is where the liver...
Or just get a giant sewing machine and sew his hand up.
Puppet liver. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you can't. That's what I'm saying though. Like, if it was a dumb, silly movie, but it was written well, I'd give it to it. Like Deadpool. Deadpool is a dumb fucking movie that relies on like a lot of dumb jokes.
See, but the thing about Deadpool,
it's a good fucking movie.
See, but Deadpool
through and through. The first Deadpool is amazing, even though it relies on shitty jokes.
But the thing about Deadpool, he broke the fourth wall law. It was self-aware of what it was. That's the thing that made it good.
Yeah.
Because then you had a shitty, basically, pothole.
And it was just relying.
He made fun of it, and he kept on telling basically the audience that it was relying on the shitty jokes and the fighting scenes to keep it forward, and it actually did.
And that's what this movie lacked, because it didn't hit home enough at puppet shit. It didn't hit it home where it needed to.
Thing they try to make it have a serious plot in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
If they would have just kept it like
silly,
funny and lighthearted, kind of, then it would have worked out. Because then at the end, you wouldn't have to be concentrated or be tight about all the plot holes left in the movie.
See, I think they
you would have just enjoyed yourself through and through.
See, I think they fell off at around like the kill at the pier. Like at that point, that's when they lost creativeness with it. And then I feel like after that, it was just kind of like, oh, the person you thought was the killer wasn't the killer? Nani? Scooby-Doo?
But they didn't think that he was the killer.
No, I'm saying the two. They thought the hillbillies.
Oh, yeah.
They thought the hillbillies were the killer, and it's like, no, they were killed too.
I was kind of mad because the commercials I had seen for this movie had a lot of Gopher or whatever the fuck his name was. The one that was addicted to everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the commercials I saw, he's
like,
there and saying, oh, don't bring your kids to this, because even though I look cute and cuddly, this is not a cute and cuddly movie. And he has 5 minutes of movie time.
The thing was, though, it kind of, like, was a cute and cuddly movie with a fucked up sex scene.
There was no way this was going to be a kid's movie.
Oh, no, but I'm saying...
It could have been if you're just...
you take out the sex scene thing.
It's like...
You just have him going to the back without looking at the dog shit. Or without looking at the...
Yeah.
Like, there really wasn't that many scenes in this movie that were too bad.
But they wouldn't have figured out that Sandra was this guy's daughter if she hadn't flashed her purple blood.
Which, that was dumb. That was fucking dumb. It wasn't... You say they. They didn't figure it out. Fucking Melissa McCarthy's character did.
Your word.
She wouldn't have been able to figure it out if...
She didn't see the picture.
Which was... That was a cheap, dumb throwaway. He should have seen that when he was fucking the shit out of her.
He fucked her through her pants, though.
But she wasn't wearing panties in the fucking confession booth. Why the fuck would you be wearing panties when she's going to get laid? No.
Sam, I think you're caught up in that sex scene. I think you just like that silly string everywhere.
I wish I did.
But the thing is, like, I have to think about quickies. You don't really look at anything. You're just like, I'm going to get my rocks off. I don't give a shit what you look like. I'm just going to stick it in and get my jollies out of it. You're not going to pay attention to what's going on down there.
No. Like, no. That's not... No, I'm not going to give you that. I do. If this is a day and age where you have to be careful. We don't listen to her. You have to have safe sex, kids. You can't just get on to a quickie with some random... See, her hair was red, but her shit was purple. You don't know what was going on down there. Like, you have no idea what is wrong with this bitch.
It's the rainbow.
This bitch could want to kill your whole family. So just stay safe, kids. And I think that's a good message to leave this episode off on. You guys have any closing thoughts about the movie? Or actually, let's rate the movie. We'll do what we did before you go first. Out of 5.
I thought it was like a good 3.5. Like, I enjoyed it. I think that it's a good... If you smoke the devil's lettuce, it's going to be a good movie. If you don't overanalyze everything.
I mean, it's not really overanalyzing. It's just... you're underanalyzing it.
It's meant to be underanalyzed.
No, it's not. You can't... If you want to just throw people money all your lives for doing bad shit, then yeah. But you have to... we can't keep having movies like this.
If you're going to enjoy... If you're going just to enjoy a movie and you're not really caring about anything, yes, this is a good movie to go see.
Okay, no. After I just went and saw Slenderman, I wanted something that was going to be spectacular.
But that was meant to be. That was supposed to be a good horror movie, and it wasn't.
Well, no, I wanted a good movie. I just wanted a good written movie, and this movie wasn't it just wasn't written good.
Well, then you can go see The Nun with me because that's supposed to be good.
If that movie's ass, you all will not hear the end of it. But okay,
no,
well,
I'm gonna be the one who doesn't hear the end of it.
I think this movie was a solid 3 out of 5 as well. I'll give it 3 out of 5. It was a fun time, but it wasn't anything it didn't promise to be, so I'll give it that. But I just expected a little bit more, and I hope that we do get more serious puppet movies. Because I like seeing puppets in my movies. Puppets are fun. I fucking love puppets.
I haven't seen The Dark Crystal.
Is that some, dungeon fucking dragon shit?
I don't know what that movie is neither. But
yeah. Oh my god, you're wild.
You guys are making me feel old.
Because You watched the old whack shit.
Yo, VeggieTales is the way to go.
No,
I want a
rate the movie,
VeggieTales
rate the
future now.
movie.
Alright,
Close this fucking
a
episode.
2.5 to a 3. It did what it was supposed to do. It got cheap laughs off of you, and it made you laugh, but like plot-wise, which you really shouldn't go to those comedy movies for a plot, because it's a comedy, for God's sake. It's not going to take itself seriously, but, I mean, a 3? Like, 10, around a decent 3.
I'm sorry, but like, I brought this up in the car. Like, the movie Idiocracy has the social commentary on how we, as a society, are getting dumber because we allow shit like this.
See, but the thing
we're gonna be watching "Ouch My Balls" in fucking 10 years from now if we let shit like this and Sausage Party.
"Ouch My Ball" was basically like Jackass.
This entire generation ate Tide Pods.
Yes.
Literally. That's the most ignorant thing you've said, like, ever, because, like, there's maybe, like, 300 videos of that, when there's over, like, 100,000 plus people from that generation, so that's just or over 300,000 people from that generation,
but
so less than 0.1% did that, and you just called out a generation for that, now you look bad?
No, but see, the thing is...
The whole generation, no,
but the thing is, the generation did start a stupid shit like that, so...
I'll give it to...
There's fall on the generation.
There's dumb people in every generation. Like, there was dumb people in a generation, like, 2 above ours, or 1 above ours, that made this movie.
Look, some people's generation had cocaine, our generation has Tide Pods. Basically, leave it at that.
Our generation
The
has
stupid
cinnamon.
people do... Like the cinnamon challenge, like our generation just finds a way to become dumber and dumber. Like when people pour alcohol on themselves and light themselves on fire, I don't get it. You try and be the Human Torch?
Alright, well, we're getting off on a tangent, so see you later, guys. Sammy B.